Only a legend can hit that far, the old general said, looking at a distant target 4,000 meters away on the radar map. A young woman with black hair, small frame, silently adjusted the massive Snipex alligator rifle. An instructor laughed dryly. Letting the rookie try the big gun for fun? The rifle fired. Clean shot. The screen flashed. 4,010 meters hit. Record confirmed. The entire base fell completely silent. Location, Sierra Nevada Mountain Range, long-range shooting training base. September thin air, thick morning fog. Main character, Lyra Novick, 24 years old. Transfer student, former technical assistant at a northern base. Thin build, hair tied low, oversized windbreaker, always hanging loose. Nobody thought she was a marksman. On the roster, she was assigned to heavy weapons support logistics. Not primary shooter. A soldier joked, "She's just here to clean rifles. Don't expect anything more." When she asked permission to check rifle barrels during break time, an instructor said, "Put it down. No need to mess up someone else's calibration." But every time a rifle went off target, the person called to readjust it was her. Lyra never complained about the assignments. She quietly performed maintenance tasks, checked equipment, and observed training sessions from the sidelines. Other trainees barely noticed her presence. She moved through the base like a shadow, efficient but invisible. During marksmanship drills, she sat in the back row taking notes. "Thank you." Not about shooting techniques, but about wind patterns, humidity changes, and ground stability. The instructors assumed she was documenting procedures for administrative purposes. They had no idea she was analyzing environmental factors that affected long-range accuracy. Her quarters were Spartan. No decorations, no personal photos, just technical manuals about ballistics, weather patterns, and advanced rifle mechanics. At night, while others socialized or relaxed, Lyra studied atmospheric conditions. She tracked how temperature changes affected bullet trajectory, how altitude influenced air density. The other trainees called her antisocial. The instructors labeled her dedicated but limited. Nobody asked about her previous experience. Her transfer paperwork was routine, unremarkable. Former technical assistant seeking specialized training. What they didn't know was that Lyra had spent 3 years working alongside some of the military's most elite snipers. Not as a shooter, but as the person who made their impossible shots possible. She understood wind like others understood breathing. Natural, instinctive, essential. But regulations required minimum height and physical standards for sniper designation. At 5 feet 2 inches, Lyra didn't qualify for official marksman training. So she became invisible support. The person who calibrated scopes, adjusted for environmental factors, and ensured equipment functioned perfectly. The person whose expertise made legends possible while receiving no recognition herself. But expertise doesn't disappear just because it's unrecognized. During weapons maintenance sessions, Lyra demonstrated ability to diagnose mechanical issues that stumped experienced technicians. Slight vibrations in rifle actions, microscopic were patterns on barrel surfaces, inconsistencies in scope alignment, skills that seemed supernatural to observers who didn't understand her technical knowledge. Her reputation among equipment specialists grew quietly. When complex problems arose, someone would suggest, "Ask the transfer student." But official recognition remained elusive. Her contributions were noted informally, then forgotten when evaluations occurred. Have you ever been underestimated because people thought you didn't look the part? Comment, "I don't need to be seen, just trusted." I once trained alongside Lyra. She didn't talk to anyone. But when I missed my target and asked, "How do you read wind drift?" she just pointed to grass, swaying gently. Then said, "Wind doesn't speak. Wind just leans." That's when I realized I understood nothing about long-range shooting. The base organizes the Honor Long Range Challenge. Final test, steel target at 4,010 meters distance. The commanding general tells the instruction team, "Only legends can make this range. Set it up for testing purposes only. Don't get delusional." Veteran SEAL marksmen all decline. Cross winds, high humidity, unstable ground conditions. A young sniper attempts the shot. Bullet misses by 3.2 meters. The entire base grows discouraged. Lyra steps forward, requests one attempt. Someone shouts, "Are you kidding? That rookie's been training less than 3 months." The instructor reluctantly agrees. "Give the kid one chance, then we're done." Lyra approaches. No spotter, no laser rangefinder. She adjusts the scope manually, uses a pencil to mark wind calculations on the barrel. Nobody believes what they're seeing. The preparation takes 12 minutes. Other marksmen had rushed their attempts. Lyra moves with methodical precision. She studies grass movement at different distances, checks humidity readings, observes how heat shimmer affects visibility. The instructors exchange skeptical glances. This level of environmental analysis seems excessive for someone with minimal training. But Lyra ignores their doubts. She's not performing for an audience. She's solving a complex ballistic equation using instinct developed over years of observation. Wind speed varies at different altitudes. Temperature gradients affect air density. Ground vibration influences rifle stability. Factors that experienced snipers acknowledge but struggle to calculate precisely. Lyra doesn't calculate. She feels. Years of watching elite marksmen taught her to read environmental conditions like native language. Natural, intuitive, accurate. She settles into shooting position. Breathing controlled. Heartbeat steady. The target is barely visible even with maximum scope magnification. A steel plate 4 kilometers away across mountainous terrain. Crosswinds are gusting unpredictably. Humidity creates atmospheric distortion. The shooting platform trembles slightly with each movement. Impossible conditions for a record-breaking shot. But Lyra has seen impossible shots made before. She was the person who made them possible. The base falls silent. Even skeptics stop talking. Something about her preparation suggests serious capability. After 12 seconds of final observation, she squeezes the trigger. The rifle fires. Clean, controlled recoil. The bullet travels for over 9 seconds. Long enough for doubt to creep in. Long enough for people to assume another miss. Then the screen displays 4,010 meters. Hit validated. Wind factor 11.2 degrees. Manual correction. The number appears and disappears as if the system can't believe its own reading. Then confirmation comes through radio. Target struck center mass. Repeat, center mass hit at 4,010 meters. Complete silence follows. Nobody moves. Nobody speaks. The impossible just happened. The rookie support technician just broke the base record by over 200 meters. Using manual calculations. No advanced equipment. No spotter assistance. Just pure understanding of how bullets travel through hostile atmospheric conditions. The general who declared, "Only legends can hit that far," stares at the screen in disbelief. Lyra stands up, safes the weapon, and steps back. No celebration. No emotional reaction. Just quiet competence that speaks louder than any victory speech. After the shot, the base commander orders complete verification of Lyra's personnel file. Discovery. She was previously the spotter and scope adjuster for a legendary retired sniper who held the 3,800 meters record. But due to insufficient height requirements for official sniper designation, she was only classified as training assistant, a veteran marksman who'd worked with her previous unit approaches. "I remember you. You were the one who made the 3,820 meters shot possible that year, weren't you?" Lyra remains silent, then says, "Nobody makes impossible shots without someone who knows how to listen to wind." The old general who'd said only legends can hit that far approaches, offers a formal salute. "I was wrong, but I learned something today." The revelation spreads quickly through the base. The quiet support technician wasn't just talented. She was the unseen architect behind legendary achievements. Her previous commanding officer is contacted for verification. His response shocks everyone. Lyra Novik is the most gifted ballistics intuitive I've encountered in 30 years. Regulations prevented official recognition, but she enabled shots that saved countless lives. The record isn't just impressive because of distance, it's remarkable because of methodology. Advanced sniper teams use sophisticated equipment, laser rangefinders, atmospheric sensors, ballistic computers, calculating trajectory down to millimeters. Lyra used pencil marks on a rifle barrel, an observation of grass movement, techniques that modern snipers consider primitive, methods that shouldn't work at extreme ranges. But traditional skills, perfected through years of dedicated study, sometimes surpassed technological solutions. The military's obsession with equipment advancement had overlooked fundamental human capabilities. Reading environmental conditions through sensory observation, understanding atmospheric behavior through patient study, developing intuitive accuracy through sustained practice. Skills that can't be programmed into computers or purchased with budgets. Lyra possessed knowledge that elite units desperately needed but couldn't quantify or replicate. Her personnel file is immediately reclassified. Previous achievements are documented and officially recognized. But the real transformation occurs among the training staff. Instructors who dismissed her as inexperienced support begin requesting her input on environmental factors affecting marksmanship training. Students who'd ignored her presence start asking questions about wind reading techniques and atmospheric analysis. The base's approach to long-range shooting instruction fundamentally changes. Less emphasis on equipment specifications, more focus on environmental awareness and intuitive skill development. Lyra becomes an unofficial consultant for impossible shot scenarios, not because of rank or official designation, but because of demonstrated capability. Her methods are studied, documented, and incorporated into advanced training curricula. The 4,010-meter shot becomes legendary not just for distance, but for proving that human expertise can exceed technological assistance. Military sniper schools request copies of her environmental analysis techniques. Elite units ask for training workshops on intuitive ballistics calculation. But Lyra declines most requests for publicity or formal recognition. She's not interested in fame or career advancement. She's focused on quietly perfecting skills that save lives when conventional methods fail. The general who initially doubted her capability later writes in his official report, "This individual represents the highest level of specialized expertise operating below institutional recognition. Our evaluation systems require immediate revision to identify and properly utilize such exceptional talent." But by then, Lyra has already requested reassignment to continue her work away from attention and publicity. She understands that her value lies not in recognition, but in remaining available when impossible situations require impossible solutions. The record shot validates her capabilities, but validation was never her goal. Competence was always enough. Have you ever discovered someone's true expertise was far beyond what anyone realized? Comment: the best never need to prove themselves until it matters most. Lyra declines becoming a media symbol or receiving official honors. She requests to remain as a silent instructor for manual long-range sensing courses. A group of female trainees begins documenting her ground reading and wind analysis techniques. On the training desk, there's a handwritten note. Long range doesn't require strength, just knowing when not to shoot. A student writes in her journal, "She made me believe genius doesn't come from applause, but from silence and precision." The base transforms its training philosophy. Equipment-focused instruction gives way to environmental awareness education. Lyra teaches through demonstration rather than lecture. Students learn by observing her methodology, not memorizing procedures. Her classes become the most requested training at the facility, not because they're easy, but because they work. Military units request transfers just to study her techniques. Advanced snipers arrive expecting sophisticated technology training. Instead, they learn to read grass movement, interpret humidity changes, and calculate wind variance using sensory observation. Many leave frustrated. They wanted shortcuts and equipment solutions. But those who embrace traditional methods discover capabilities they never knew they possessed. Lyra's influence spreads through informal networks. Students carry her techniques to new assignments across different military branches. Environmental shooting analysis becomes Standard curriculum at sniper schools worldwide. The 4,010-meter record inspires development of new training protocols, emphasizing human skill over technological dependence. But Lyra remains focused on individual student development rather than institutional change. She works with trainees who struggle with conventional instruction methods, students who possess natural ability but lack confidence in equipment-heavy environments. Her approach proves that excellence emerges from patience, observation, and dedicated practice, not from advanced degrees, expensive equipment, or official recognition. The quiet instructor becomes legendary among students who learn to exceed their perceived limitations through her guidance. Years later, graduates credit her with teaching them to trust their instincts when instruments fail and conditions become impossible. Combat veterans describe making critical shots using techniques learned in her environmental analysis courses. Lives saved through skills that can't be quantified or officially documented. Lyra continues teaching, remaining deliberately invisible while producing consistently exceptional results. Her legacy isn't measured in records or awards, but in the capability she develops in others. The true mark of expertise, creating competence that outlasts individual achievement. Have you ever learned life-changing skills from someone who never sought credit for teaching them? Comment, I learned from the quietest teacher. Nobody photographed Lyra for news stories or magazine features, but the base's official record board still displays longest confirmed hit, 4,010 meters, established by Lyra N. When asked why she doesn't accept recognition, she simply says, "Wind doesn't demand gratitude. It just needs someone listening carefully." That's the essential lesson. Not everyone who achieves true greatness needs acknowledgement or media attention. But if you're quietly doing the right work, you're already approaching something extraordinary. True excellence whispers, while mediocrity shouts loudly. The greatest achievements often come from people nobody notices until the critical moment everything depends on them. Some legends wear military uniforms and shiny medals. Others wear simple windbreakers and carry basic pencils. Both change the world in meaningful ways, but only one asks for nothing in return. Subscribe to The Ordinary Heroes. We tell the stories that shouldn't be forgotten. Real people. Real courage. No mass AI.